Hello viewers, this evening we're going to be doing a comparison between two aircraft, and they are both 300 variants. This evening we're going to be comparing the Boeing 777-300ER to the Airbus A330-300. Now before we get into the comparison, these aircraft are both the same scale of 1 to 400. The Boeing 777 is obviously larger than the Airbus A330, but the A330-300 is as large as the Boeing 777-200. The Boeing 777 and the Airbus A330 were two of the most popular wide-body airliners to ever be built. The Airbus A330 at the time was the world's largest flying twin-engine airliner until the Boeing 777 was introduced in 1995. The Boeing 777 and the A330 were also close competitors, with some variants of the A330-300 being able to carry up to 300 people. Here we've got two airlines that we are going to compare. We're going to compare my Swiss A330-300 to my Korean Air Boeing 777-300ER. We're going to compare what's similar and what's different about the planes. So we're going to start off with the Airbus A330-300. The Airbus A330-300 is a very popular plane, and many examples have been built and flying with many airlines. Delta Airlines was a popular customer with the Airbus A330, with some of their older variants still flying today. This Airbus A330 here was purchased by Swiss Air, and the A330 was Swiss Air's most popular plane in their fleet. This is the 300 variant. So if we take a closer look, you can see this aircraft has Rolls-Royce Trent R772 engines. So we are going to take a look at the specifications of this plane. Here are the specifications of this aircraft. As you guys can see here, the aircraft has, as I said, two Rolls-Royce Trent 772B engines. The wingspan of the aircraft is 60.30 meters. The length is 63.7 meters long, and the height is 17.8 meters. The speed of the aircraft at maximum airspeed is 900 kilometers an hour. The maximum takeoff weight of the aircraft is 233,000 kilograms, while the max landing weight is 187,000 kilograms. The power of the Rolls-Royce Trent 772B engines is 32,250 kilograms of thrust per engine. So these are pretty powerful engines that Rolls-Royce has made. The range of the aircraft with the full maximum payload is 8,500 kilometers. This Airbus A330-300 can seat up to 236 people in 2 or 3 classes. The crew. The total number of crew is 12, with 2 cockpit crew and 10 cabin crew. This Airbus A330-300 was a pretty popular plane with Swiss Air. Lots of A330-300s still being in service with Swiss to this day. However, Swiss has not yet purchased the A330neo, which is the A330-900. This aircraft here can carry 236 people, and we're going to take a little closer look at the plane. As you can see, the Airbus A330 has 4 doors on each side of the cabin. Here's your main entry door. As you can see, that right there is your main entry door. And then you have 3 exit doors. You have an exit door in front and behind the main wings. And then you have another exit door at the back of the plane. Now, when the emergency doors are activated, so those are also referred to as your emergency doors, as soon as they activate, within 6 seconds, the emergency slides have deployed and are inflated. The Airbus A330-300 is a little bit smaller than the 777-300, but they are both wide-body airliners. So we are now going to bring in the 777-300, and we are now going to compare the similarities amongst the two aircraft. So here is the Korean Air 777-300 and the Swiss Air A330. As you can tell, there are some similarities between the two planes, such as the 777 and the A330, both being twin-engine, wide-body airliners. They are also long-range. The Boeing 777 is a large, wide-body airliner produced by Boeing and is currently the largest twin-engine airliner in the world to fly today, with the 777-300ER having that title. The Boeing 777 is a large wide-body airliner, as we said before, and this is the extended range variant. One cool thing about the Boeing 777 is the raked wingtips. If we take a closer look at the 777's wings, you can tell they have raked wingtips. And the raked wingtips allow for better lift and better fuel efficiency. If you want an aircraft where you can refer to for raked wingtips, check out the Boeing 787. The Boeing 787 Dreamliner was kind of based off the 777, but however, it is much smaller. The 787-8 being the smallest. But the 787 is not part of this comparison. The Boeing 777 and the A330 also have some major differences, such as in size of the aircraft. The Boeing 777 is a little bit wider than the Airbus A330, so the 777 obviously has a higher seating capacity. The Airbus A330, however, is a tiny bit narrower, with the aircraft this plane only being able to sit 236 people, and this plane being able to sit at least 400 people. The Airbus A330 is also not quite as fuel efficient as the Boeing 777 due to its much smaller engines. The A330 sometimes is referred to as a non-fuel efficient aircraft. So for right now, we're going to set the A330 aside and we're going to take a closer look, and we're going to give you the specifications of the Boeing 777-300ER. The Boeing 777-300ER uses very fuel efficient GE90 115B engines, which are very more fuel efficient than the Rolls-Royce Trent 700. The GE90 115B was claimed to be the most fuel efficient jet engine in the world, with the engine having about 20% less fuel consumption than that of a Rolls-Royce engine. The Boeing 777 was also a pretty popular plane, with that aircraft still in production to this day. The Boeing 777 currently holds the title as the world's largest twin-engine airliner and the world's largest twin-engine jet to be flying. Now we're going to take a closer look at the Boeing 777 specifications. So we are going to set the aircraft down for right now. If we go to our look inside, you can see how we have our specifications and description. So if you guys want to read that, I'm going to read this aloud. The Boeing 777-300ER. During the early this is a little bit of history about the plane. During the early 1980s, several of Boeing's customers approached the manufacturer to develop an airliner that would handle higher passenger loads than the 767-300, yet be smaller than the 747 series of aircraft. With the design finalized in 1989, the official launch customer, United Airlines, placed an order for 34 777-200 aircraft plus 34 options during October of 1990. On June 12, 1994, the first 777-200 took to the skies, starting a new revelation in comfort and efficient air travel. The first 777-200 entered service with United on May 17, 1995. Since then, the 777 has taken on a new role as a replacement for Boeing's now discontinued 747-100, which I have the demonstrator, 200, and 300 series of aircraft. With a newer refined wing and more powerful engines, the 777 has now entered its second generation of development. The enhanced versions are now identified as the 777-200LR, 777-300ER, is this plane right here, and the 777F. The 777F is a dedicated version designed specifically for freight operations, utilizing the 777-200LRs as the base. So, specifications about my Boeing 777-300ER. Delivery is Korean Air. Aircraft type is Boeing 777-3B5ER. Manufacturer serial number 37136. Line number 823. Registration HL7784. The engines are two GE90 115Bs. The first flight of my aircraft was October 15th, 2009, and the delivery date was October 27th, 2009. My 777 has a maximum takeoff weight of 775,000 pounds, with a cruising speed of 554 miles per hour. The range of my aircraft is 8,481 miles, and the seating of my aircraft is 365 for mixed class. So now that you guys have a little bit more history about the Boeing 777 and when it was introduced, and the Airbus A330-300, now let's begin the official comparison. We're going to start off with the similarities of the planes. The planes are both twin-engine airliners, which meaning they have one engine under each wing. The Boeing 777 and the A330 both feature swept wings because they are jet airliners. Both aircraft have inboard and outboard flaps, and also they have slats on the fronts of the wings to help reduce the required amount of runway that the aircraft needs in order to take off and land safely. The Airbus A330-300 and the Boeing 777-300ER are both similar planes. The 777ER being a tad bit longer than the A330, resulting in the aircraft being a little bit different. However, these aircraft are now pretty similar, as the winglets on this A330 were removed and replaced with raked wingtips. The Airbus A330neo, or the A330-900, for those of you who might have seen the new class, have raked wingtips, which are very similar to the Boeing 777. Both planes are long-range airliners, which means they can fly overseas without refueling. The Boeing 777, however, has a major advantage over the A330-300, having more fuel-efficient engines and a refined wing to improve dynamic fuel performance. The Airbus A330, on the other hand, is a pretty similar plane to the Boeing 777. But, however, the Airbus A330 is not as fuel efficient as a lot of us know. The Airbus A330-300 can be fitted with two engine options, Pratt & Whitney PW4000s or the Rolls-Royce Trent 772s, which this aircraft has. The Boeing 777-300ER has the only engine option of the General Electric GE90 115B. So now we are going to compare the differences of the aircraft. The Boeing 777-300 is a bigger plane than the Airbus A330, with having over 130 more seats available for people to sit comfortably. The Airbus A330-300 has a passenger capacity of 236 people in a mixed class, while the Boeing 777-300ER has a capacity of 365 in a mixed class. The Boeing 777 features a more defined wing, including raked wingtips, larger wingspan, and a redesign to the wing itself. The Airbus A330, however, has a more conventional wing design, still featuring front leading edge slats and inboard outboard flaps. The Boeing 777-300 has redesigned flaps, as you can see right here. There you can see the flaps are down. The Boeing 777-300 and the Airbus A330 are very similar planes, but also the Boeing 777 can fly much longer distances of over 8,400 miles without refueling, while the Airbus A330 can only fly about 6,000 to 7,000 miles before having to refuel. And plus, with the 777 being a little bit larger, the 777-300ER has an advantage over the A330-300. So now that you guys know some differences about the aircraft, now we're going to take a look at both aircraft up close. Here is the Airbus A330-300. As you can see, looking at the aircraft up close, you can tell the plane is a little bit smaller in size. The Airbus A330 also has a different shaped vertical stabilizer, along with the horizontal stabilizers being different in shape as well. Airbus was a French aircraft manufacturer, along with European. They made the aircraft that Airbus makes today is the A300F, A320 family, which includes the A318, A319, A320, and A321. And then the Airbus A330, which we have here. And then the Airbus A340, which is the 4-engine version of this plane that you see here. The Airbus A350, which is a European derivative of the Boeing 777. And then you also have the A380, which is the only full double-decker airliner in the world. So now we're going to look at the 777 up close, so you guys can see the major differences between the 777 and the A330. As you can see, the 777 has a completely different wing design. As you can see here, if we look at the top of the plane, you can tell the 777 has raked wingtips, which improves the efficiency of the aircraft by increasing the lift while allowing the wings to flex a little bit at the same time, while also directing the vortices further away from the wings, which therefore allows other aircraft to come in behind it and still be able to land safely. The Airbus A330 has a disadvantage because it has the classic winglets. The classic winglets create vortices closer to the wings, and then when your aircraft are coming into land, they're going to have a much harder time landing because the A330-300 does not feature raked wingtips in order to send the vortices out further away and to make it easier for aircraft coming in behind them. So there is a major advantage on the Boeing 777. So for this comparison, I declare the Boeing 777-300 the winner.